This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from the upcoming Revival Theater Company production of Oklahoma. Say hi to our artistic director, Brian Glick, and Catherine Blades, who portrays Laurey in the show. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you.
Brian, you've been on the show many times.
Yes.
Catherine, you are one of our most popular exports, a TV, stage, and film actress now living in New York. So first off, welcome home.
Thank you.
So excited to have you back to do this show.
Always
Before we talk about Oklahoma, tell me what you've been up to out east.
Okay, well, I've been living in New York now 10 years. It's crazy. I moved there to do a Broadway show in 2009. I've worked regionally since then, and a few TV, film jobs. And yeah, so I did Jessica Jones on Netflix. I was just in an episode of The Loudest Voice, the Roger Ailes show. Yeah, which Russell Crowe plays Roger Ailes. Yeah, and I do a lot of voiceover work in New York. So any sort of high-budget TV or film, they have actors come into a sound studio, and we fill in all of the extra sound, because I guess on set you don't really have background actors talking, so we'll watch them and make up conversations they could be having. It's a really interesting part of the business that I had no idea about. We do a lot of fake laughing, screaming, just improv conversations for all different types of things. Yeah,
so keeping busy.
Yeah.
But glad that you were able to find the time to
Me
come back
too.
and be a part of this show.
Yeah.
So, Brian, this is not a fully staged show. It's what they call the in-concert format.
Yeah, but our version of in concert is pretty much fully staged.
All right.
Yeah, one of the reasons why we say in concert is because we have an orchestra on stage, and then we have a volunteer chorus behind them that backs up the vocals. And it allows us to not do any sets or very little sets and minimal costumes, and sort of just minimalize things and really focus on the story and the music aspect of it.
And as musicals today, modern musicals are very much like that.
Yes.
The staging a lot of times in the set is pretty minimal. You see, things, skating in and out. But so this kind of takes a classic musical and presents it a little bit more the way it's done today.
Yeah. I mean, Oklahoma is, well, a lot of R&H's shows are incredibly orchestral. So to have 16 players playing that score and be able to see them playing it, it just adds a whole nother, factor to the audience's experience. Yeah.
Catherine, what's your history with Oklahoma? Obviously, you've known the music, I'm sure, your whole life.
None, really. My mom played Laurey in Australia years and years ago. But other than that, none.
Okay, but familiar with the music?
Yes. Yep. When I was doing a show at Goodspeed Opera House in Connecticut, they were dedicating one of the new houses to Hammerstein, I think. And so we sang "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning" for his family, for the estate. They came in. Cool. Yeah, it was cool. But that's really all I've ever done of Oklahoma.
As a performer, rehearsing and getting ready for this, and again with the kind of almost fully staged version, how is that different for you as a performer as opposed to doing a regular fully staged musical?
I think it's more of an opportunity to really dig into the story. You don't have anything else to really worry about. It's a little more raw. You're sort of out there without this huge set, without tons of costume changes. It's kind of more real, and I like it. And being on stage with an orchestra is also very special, just more exciting.
Brian, from a staging and direction standpoint, what makes this more complicated or less complicated than, again, a regularly staged version?
Yeah, I think it's doing in a format like this, semi-staged or fully staged, depending on how you look at it. What do you keep in and what do you not? What do you trim down? What do you keep in? And what won't be missed from the story if we don't do this? Like, for instance, when we're in Judd Fry's smokehouse, he's referring to all these things around the room. Well, do we need those, or can we just say they're over here? In the fourth wall, as we say, and he just points to them and we just visualize it. Where if this was a full full set, they'd be on the wall and on a crate here and a bed there. And so I think working through those details and making sure that's clear to the actors of what we're going to have and what's not going to be there.
What's there and what you're imagining.
Exactly. And so, you know, that always can be tricky. And will that work for the audience? Can that be believable? And so that's exciting. But, you know, it's like what I love about it, what makes these shows a little less of a burden at times, especially in the technical aspect, is, you know, we're not stop and go scene changes, flying in, what's coming in from off stage, and 20 costume changes. And though that stuff is great, it helps to eliminate that process.
Which again is something in new musicals being staged today is something that they have really the days that, you know, you don't go to a Broadway show these days and have to wait 5 minutes in between scenes for a set change. That just does not happen.
And because it's a classic musical, there's all this scene change music, because back, you know, when they wrote it, I mean, it was like a curtain would come in and they changed the scene and then the curtain would open back up, and it would be, we don't do that anymore. And so we're having to cut down a lot of the scene change music because it's just not needed. So.
Well, I have to ask, will there be a Surrey with the fringe on top?
There will not. There will not. I'm sorry.
You'll imagine it.
The Surrey will be in your mind.
Yes.
That's right.
He paints a nice picture of it.
He does. So no, there will not. I'm sorry. There will be grasses and there will be, blue sky as a backdrop, but and pretty lighting.
Well, it does sound like it sounds like a lot of fun. It's obviously one of the great musicals of all time.
Yeah.
Music that I am trying to think if there's any song in that we don't all kind of know by heart.
You were just saying you heard a jazz version of
yesterday of Surrey.
Surrey
is very popular.
Yeah, Surrey is a very popular jazz standard.
It really is cool.
Everybody has done it.
Yeah, it's like I don't think people realize the importance of this piece, not just in terms of the story, but the history of writing it itself at the time it was written. You know, R&H, this was the first show they collaborated on, Rodgers and Hammerstein, and it was the first book musical. You know, prior to that, you had Ethel Merman walking down on the stage singing a song that had nothing to do with the scene prior, and people just wanted to be entertained. And also, the first show where the curtain didn't open with 100 people on stage singing and dancing. Instead, you had one woman on stage turning butter, and it was like, whoa, what is this? So a lot of firsts on this show, you know.
It's Revival Theater Company's production of Oklahoma, opening November 21st?
1st through the 23rd, just 3 performances.
Okay, so only 3 chances to see the show, and you'll be at Co-College?
Yes, Sinclair Auditorium.
Okay. Yeah. Catherine, right at this moment, and I know it can change, what's your favorite moment in the show as you've been preparing?
Well, the Dream Ballet right now. I have some bruises all over me. We've been really going for it, but, I mean, my character really goes on this crazy journey, and it's really told beautifully through dance, and our choreographer has been wonderful, and I'm doing a lot of things that I really didn't think I would ever do on stage because I'm not a trained ballerina, and so it's been really fun, really rewarding.
13-minute ballet.
Yeah.
Wow. So you kept so
we kept that
in.
No one does it, so we're like, we're going to do it. And Megan Helmers, who's our choreographer, she comes from Des Moines every weekend. She's incredible and has them looking like they do it for a living. So
that's
Well, looking forward very much to Oklahoma at Co-College, Revival Theater Company. If people want tickets, they can get them at your website?
RevivalTheaterCompany.com or ArtsIowa.com, which is at the Orchestra Iowa box office.
All right. Brian, Catherine, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:20 on KCCK, or download or watch the video podcast at the time of your choosing using your favorite podcast app or at kcck.org/culture. I'm Dennis Green.